Hey Ballerina, today I wanted to talk to you about apps. I am a millennial, only just, but technically still am, still 1996, don't have this argument a lot. I am a millennial, and like most millennials, I rely on my phone. My phone that, as you can see, is far more out of date than most YouTubers. I don't earn money from this, okay? If you want to buy me any phone, contact me on Twitter. I rely on my phone for a lot of things. Now, for a 24-year-old, I still use pen and paper quite a lot. I rely on a physical diary because I found like a lot of people swear by Google Calendar. Google Calendar does not work for me because I just go, oh, I don't care about my phone, and then don't get any notifications. So I rely a lot more on apps that don't notify you constantly, but are just sort of handy to have. So I thought I'd run through 6 of the apps that make me feel a little bit more like I have my life together. The first is just your basic notes app. Now, many moons ago I had an iPhone, and I maintain that iPhones still have the best notes app. I've used lots of different ones and I've settled on one you can get through Android, but it's so much more difficult to upload it to my Google Drive. But essentially it's just there for when I don't have pen and paper near me, which whilst we're in lockdown is not very often, but when things go back to normal will be all the time. For the people who follow my channel and write their own poetry, you will know that you'll finally figure out how to complete that poem at 1:30 in the morning when you've been asleep for 2 hours and you wake up and you can't find pen and paper. So that's what my notes app is for. It's also for when I have to write shopping lists, because I don't have a working memory. Jumping on from that, and some people would say you don't need both of these, but I do, is Notion. Notion, a lot of people have made videos about. Michelle B in particular summarised how basically she manages her whole life through Notion. I also have it on my laptop, but I do have it on my phone. Now, I use Notion for things that are more concrete than my notes app. If something's good in my notes app, it will be transferred to Notion at the end of the week, and I use that for everything. I have checklists, cleaning checklists. I have my end of the week, sort your life out before you go back to work checklist. I also use it for my budget. I use it for notes on classes I'm taking, because I'm currently doing 3 classes around a full-time job, and this, and writing. My life's complex. I have priorities lists. I put my goals in there. Anything that is not just a passing thought tends to get moved onto there, and it means I can just access things as and when I need them. Third, patient access. Now, this does not apply if you don't live in the UK, although there may be an equivalent, but I don't know. A lot of people use the NHS app. I have found patient access so much better. I use it to order all my prescriptions. I use it to book any doctor's appointments, though obviously not really at the minute. I use it if I feel like I might have symptoms of something. It's much better than WebMDing your life. And it's just really handy, it's really user-friendly. If you're trying to decide whether to use the NHS app or not, I'd say use patient access instead if your doctors gives you that option. Fourth is Libby. Libby I only discovered during this lockdown, and it is a app you can use on phone, on tablet, on anything like that, and it is just a library app. So you just take books out on it, they're downloaded to your device for 2 weeks, you can extend that, you can renew. I prefer physical books, but this is a handy one to have, especially if like you find yourself stuck on a journey you weren't planning. You can just quickly do it and it doesn't use all your data. It's also, now we're in lockdown, I can't take books out, I don't have money, I have them on my phone. But I feel quite like grown up being able to go, let me just go with my library app. Is that just me? That's probably just me. Fifth app on this is quite specific to sort of the journalism things I do, but it's an app called Kogi. I don't think it's available on Apple anymore. I feel like we had this realisation at somewhere in the city. But if you aren't someone who uses an iPhone, which I know isn't many people anymore, Kogi is my favourite dictaphone app. I love it, love it. I particularly like Kogi because you can write notes with it. If I'm interviewing someone and I want to highlight something that I should go to, I'll just write a quick note. You can upload photos, which I find really handy for events. When you end up with a ton of photos and then you're trying to match them up afterwards, it's much easier if you can just photo you need on something and you know then. where the photo was from. So yeah, big recommend that if you're like me and doing journalism as a part-time thing. Obviously if it's your proper job, buy a dictaphone, but don't make money off it yet. So. And finally, number 5 is Alarm Clock Plus. Now I mentioned this in my morning routine video, which I'll put a link to somewhere if you're interested in that. But essentially Alarm Clock Plus, you set it like a normal alarm, but you can set it to make you do maths in the morning. You can change the difficulty on it, which I've already had to do once because I said it's very easy to start with because I was like, you're useless in the morning, but I was getting too good at turning it off to the point where it wasn't making me get up anymore. Now, as a person who has full-time work, writes for a magazine, has written a book, is editing and trying to get published a book, is trying to publish poetry, is doing the YouTube thing, is doing courses in coding, digital marketing, and why am I like this? I'm trying to get ad certified. To get my life done, I need to get up quite a bit before I have to be in work. And this app is the only one that's worked for me. I've tried, if I put it out of the room, because everyone's always like, put it in a different room, I won't wake up. I tried buying a normal alarm clock, but I bought like the old ones, you know, like the metal ones, and the noise woke me up in a panic attack 4 days in a row before I decided to never use it again. This is working for me, I'm going to stick with this one for now. So there you go, that's 6 apps that for me help me feel a bit more put together as an adult, help me run my life. Let me know what your favourite life-saving apps are in the comments. I know everyone has different needs from them, but also maybe you can recommend something that I'll find useful, I don't know. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, give me a cheeky like and subscribe, and I'll see you again later. Bye!